Hello and welcome to this third video in the behind the scenes series of the Chaconne by Bach. Today we're talking Neapolitan 6th and chromatics. Right, first of all let's get the theory out the way. What the hell is a Neapolitan 6th chord? Here's your scale, and here we go, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. 8 notes, mother scale. Neapolitan 6 starts at position 2, but position 2 drop down a semitone, so it's a flattened 2 chord. That doesn't make it a Neapolitan 6. What does is the way that it is then structured. Generally it won't have the flat 2 in the bass, it'll have the third in the bass. So it creates that minor 6th interval, which is where you get that 6th from. So, its use, what is its use? Gained traction and was called Neapolitan 6 because of its use by Scarlatti, Battista, Pergolesi and Cimarosa in the 16th century. These were Italian opera composers, and this is where it was first kind of introduced to the world. But obviously it became really popular, and then you get Scarlatti, Corelli and all Purcell and all these other people starting to link into this. It is used to move between 2, 5 and 1 sometimes, or even 2, 5 and then another key, or 2, 2 another key. It has many different uses. However, for this period it has a different taste and texture to everything that's come before. It's used in minor keys lots, it's not used in major keys very often, which Bach does here. Why are we talking this? Because it is important that Bach introduces chromatics very carefully and slowly in the Chaconne, variation at a time. Now, it depends on how deeply you go into the score, but the first variation, there are generally no chromatics. There are no notes outside of that D minor scale. As you move in, he starts to introduce different chromatics. So by the time we get to a variation 4, we get our first diminished chord, which is unusual. And that diminished chord is heralding the next variation, where we start to get chromatics entering. So Bach is slowly building these things, and he has done this on purpose. Please don't think for one second that he just shoved these notes in. He didn't. Why is that important? Because he keeps building it on and forwards, and then we get to variation 8 and we get our first E flat. Now the E flat is important because in the key of D minor, that is your Neapolitan 6th note, and Bach introduces it. He doesn't use the harmony for the Neapolitan 6th, but he starts to introduce it. He introduces it into that diminished chord in bar 31. So that by the time we get to variation 11, Bach has set up that E flat, and he uses it for the first time going 2, 5, 5 and 1 from variation 11 to variation 12. Super fantastic use of the Neapolitan 6th, and he's spelt it out fully for us in the violin and for us on the guitar, where we can hold the bass notes and cheat a little bit, which the violin can't do. So if you've lost yourself in this, there is a book that's going to spell this all out. It's going to help you learn this, along with all the harmony and the chords. I want you to be able to understand what you're playing, because it's Baroque music. It is not good enough to just know where your fingers are going on the fretboard. You need to understand what Bach is doing, even if it's just on a surface level of this chord to this chord to this chord. You don't need to understand, or being able to pick up, oh, Bach has introduced a chromatic here. This variation does that. This variation uses this harmony. All of these things help you to learn something this long and this complex much easier, because it gives you extra signposts in the music. Hopefully that's proved interesting. This has been your daily dose of 6-string inspiration with myself, Rain, Herr Bach, the 16th century and classical guitar rocks, all powered by the Neapolitan 6th chord and the use of chromatics.